Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it put you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. Hey everybody, and welcome to the DJ the Money Coach Financial Expert Series brought to you by the 7 Spheres of Money. And before we get started with interviewing this amazing guest, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the 7 Spheres of Money. Now, let's get into it. So DJ, who are we talking to today?
Oh man, we're going back to my hometown of Chicago. Whoop, whoop. Chi-town in the house. Right. So, hey man, that's back to back. I just realized we interviewed our man Byron, and now we're interviewing Brooke Sinclair from Chicago. So we might have to call this the Chicago edition of the Financial Expert Series with DJ the Money Coach. So you know how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. We bring you the best and the brightest in our, culture, and we show you that this is the norm. It's not the exception to the rule. And we like to keep it balanced. So, we don't have too many men. We don't have too many women. We have a little bit of everything, and we make you know that, hey, man, this is where it's at. So if you don't know me real quickly, by now you should know DJ the Money Coach, just like you, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals. I went to school to get that little piece of, paper that's supposed to guarantee you supreme life. But in all actuality, it guarantees you a lot of debt. Mm-hmm. That's right. Guarantees you a lot of debt. And here's the reality is that 80% of people who get those certificate of debt, they actually don't even work in that profession long term. Those just happen to be facts. Don't ask me, check for yourself. But anyway, I came out of school, had $40,000 worth of consumable debt, had $20,000 worth of student loan debt. And before I know it, I thought I had a professional job and I thought I could afford to buy a house. And I got turned down for a mortgage because they told me I had $60,000 worth of debt. And they told me, unbeknownst to me, that I had a 525 credit score. Now, mind you, I actually went to school to become a CPA. I didn't become a CPA. I got a minor in accounting, but I was taught to do business for corporations, not for my personal finances. So once after I got that rejection, I, shrugged it off. No big deal. But, it kind of hurt a little bit. But then a few years later, I got turned down for what was the most important thing, was a business loan. So at that point, I decided to, not be a victim. I decided to have accountability because I was the one to put myself in that situation, even though I didn't know, what I needed to know about personal finances. So I read a book called The Road to Wealth. And I only read the one chapter about credit. I learned how credit worked, ladies and gentlemen. And then I applied some dirty little words, 3 of them. Number 1, discipline, accountability, and work. And then the 4th one is what I'm telling people about nowadays over the past 20 years. I plugged into a system that I created called the 7 Spheres of Money. So long story short, I became consumer debt free in 2002. I think it was June 2002. I paid off all $60,000 of that consumer loan, that student loan, and I didn't file bankruptcy. I didn't go crying to the, to the government looking for the stimmy. Okay. And once I figured that out, I started going into my community and started helping people out and created this amazing system called the Family Finance 101. And 6 years from there, in 2008, I became a $250,000 income earner. That's right. And I had a 7-figure net worth. And you know how I know? You get 3 guesses, first 2 don't count. It's because the IRS came knocking on my freaking door to audit me because I was making so much money that they couldn't believe it. So they decided they were going to try to tax me. Don't roll. So now today, and I'm going to get into my awesome guess, is that, I have an 800 credit score. I usually show it, but I don't have to show it anymore. I've had an 800 credit score for the last 15 years. I've worked with over 25,000 people in middle-class America, from the YMCA to churches, to banks, to airports, to state of Illinois, state of Michigan. And what I do now is I help people like you get financially consumer debt free, become financially independent by getting your credit scores up. Then I help you invest in businesses, real estate, and startups. And the reason why we have this young lady on here today is because she's mastered one of these amazing business endeavors that you need to know about. So this young lady comes from, Chicagoland. Like I said, she's a graduate from Viso East. And, that's one of the top, schools, in the, suburbs of Chicago, on the west side.
Okay.
Matter of fact, and
that's totally wrong. That was all wrong.
She also has a master's degree in science and project management. And she actually is in the import export business and very successful at it. Matter of fact, she's in the export import business. Let me correct that. And she's the founder of this amazing company called Velourit that actually helps people across the world export products from America to other countries. And we actually are connected through my main event sponsor. Shout outs to Joseph Sterling, my main man, been sponsoring my baseball programs for the past 6-7 years. And I said, hey, Joseph, I'm looking for somebody to help me get my Tolero, black owned, that's right, off the ground from an export capacity. He said, hey, man, you got to talk to Miss Brooke Sinclair. And then when he told me he was from Chicago and he'd been knowing her about 20 years, I like to have to go knock him upside the head. Because I said, how you going to be holding out on the Chi-Town connection? Just for that. So without further ado, this lady is amazing. We've actually sat down with her. She actually has shown us some leveraging points for our partners over at Tolero, which is my sponsor, and getting that off to a great road. So Brooke, how are you doing today? Thank you for coming to the platform. And man, I hope we did you a great introduction like we do for everybody else on this beautiful sunny day here in Texas. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that was an awesome introduction. Can I just tell you, that just gave me so much life right now. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh man, thank you. Oh, big time, big time. So let's jump right in and like we do this conversation. So tell us a little bit about who Brooke Sinclair was, when she was like 10, 12 years of age, and she had that first dream that, came, to reality to become the major player you are in the export business today.
Man, I didn't necessarily know I was going to be in the export business, but at 10 to 12, I knew I wanted to be something. I wanted to make an impact. Even as a little girl, being 4 years old, I told my mom I wanted to be a lawyer for poor people. And she was like, I don't understand that. Good luck with that. And I was like, yeah. But my heart was always in service to others and finding a way to make a huge impact. So, fast forward, found myself as production stage manager at the age of 19, moving productions, people, and equipment from East to West Coast, just managing huge productions. Last show was at the world famous Apollo Theater, and went and then turned that into logistics and transportation. So now, ipso facto, fast forward, and then we found ourselves at Velourit.
Wow, wait. Did I miss something? Did I hear you say something about the Apollo?
Yes.
I think let's go just matter of fact, the Apollo. Come on, girlfriend. Tell it, you know, come on now. Tell us about the Apollo. And then, you know, shout out to Proviso East. So first shout out to Proviso East, because you know, you said 4 years old. But you didn't even talk about being an attorney. I couldn't even speak at 4 years old, if I recall. You already got a suitcase and glasses and ready to go say the world as an attorney. She just sped on up. Oh, matter of fact, you know, I did some stuff at the Apollo, yada yada. See, when you got these big ballers, Nick, they got these steep resumes. Man, we gotta, you know, step up our game. Is what she's telling me.
Made eye contact. He was like, "Oh, okay."
See, that's how they roll in the shop. We the big shoulder, the windy city. You know, if you can make it in the shot, you can make it in the world.
For real.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you got into the theater. Give us a little snippet on that Apollo, and then come up to you know, the present day.
Okay. So unfortunately, I was a theater nerd. In high school, I was the president of the theater guild, and you know, we did the UIL. So I went to theater for college, and I thought I was going to be in the theater lifestyle. So that's when I got introduced to. Well, really, in high school, I thought I was going to be an actress, and I thought I was going to be on Broadway.
So what school did you go? Did you go to what's the theater school? Did you go to Chicago Institute of Arts, or did you go to Juilliard? Or those are wrong. Those are dancing schools. What am I talking about?
Those are dancing
school in New York that Fame was based on.
I don't remember the actual real name.
Debbie Allen and the theater and
Yeah.
acting. What's those schools? What is it called?
Well, High School for Performing and Visual Arts.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
I know that one.
I actually moved around a lot. So actually, by the time I graduated from high school, I was here in Houston.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started out at Proviso East. I didn't actually graduate from there. I was just gonna let that go by. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Holding out on me now. I got to take back some credit now.
I know.
I got to take back some credit. So you really a Houstonian now. That's what you're telling me. Uh-oh. That's I ain't gonna hold against you.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
we good.
Okay.
We're gonna claim Proviso anyway.
Still there. I went there. I got grades.
But you're born in Chicago, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, you're a Chicagoan then. That's
yes.
Right. See, my oldest son, he's born in Chicago. He might have lived, 13 years, in the other state, but he's a Chicagoan. So,
right.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Now we got that cleared up. Let's get on with the show.
Okay.
Okay, so you started doing theater at the Theater Guild, and so what college did you go to for theater?
University of Houston.
Oh, okay, they have a good theater program.
Oh, amazing. And when I was there, they had Sir Peter Hall, who was still with us, who would occasionally come by. Edward Albee would come and be there, Stuart Ostro, just incredible people who were just well known throughout the theater, award-winning Tonys and things of that nature.
Okay. Oh man, that's awesome. So what awards have you won in that industry that gave you that, I checked off, I've done that, I accomplished it?
Yeah, I became a union stage manager. So
oh, wow.
I was a actors equity stage manager. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So worked my rank up. So again, I was 19, so I just did odd jobs here and there. I worked, did PA on productions. I was the prop girl for many times. And I just worked my way up and until I could earn that trust to be able to run a full production, and then became an equity stage manager.
Okay, so then that's where you and Joseph met. You said the Alley Theater, is that correct?
Yes. So I was also working in the box office at the Alley Theater because my world was theater.
So is that responsible for sales? When you say box office, I think about sales.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So you basically cutting your teeth in every aspect of theater and acting, get on the business side, and now you start building that resume, the skill set that are obviously they didn't teach you that in college. So
not that college.
Yeah, that's amazing. So tell me about And since I didn't know what the Alley Theater was, so tell us about the Alley Theater. So obviously it's very prominent. So tell us about it in itself and how that works.
Oh yeah, the Alley Theater is a Houston Tony Award winning theater.
Now I do know what a Tony is. So,
Okay.
So that's very important.
Yes. Yes. I think they're on Travis Street. I feel like that's also wrong. Texas Street, downtown in our Houston's theater district.
Okay, so that would be like, would that be on par with the Goodman Theater in Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I do know Goodman Theater.
Yes, you want to imagine ball gowns sometimes,
so,
right?
In reference to like Broadway. So if Broadway's New York, would that be your next step from there to Broadway or off Broadway? So what are some of the shows that you guys, had done, or what you did box office, like Cats or Phantom of the Opera? I mean, Hamilton, stuff like that. So I've gone to a couple of little small, venues before. I'm not that sophisticated, as I need to be. But I did go to Cats and Phantom of the Opera reluctantly. I was drugged to those events in some past relationships. They said I was a little rough around the edges. They wanted me to get a little sophistication.
Bravo for you, because Cats is hard.
Yeah, it was hard, man. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, but you know what? Amazingly, I actually liked Phantom of the Opera, and I thought I would not like that.
I can see you liking that. No, because I feel like Phantom of the Opera is the original gangster kind of, and I feel like he spoke to your Chicago side, because he's like, "What's up, y'all?" Like, I'm still here. You can't take me. You might got half my face, but I am still here, and you will feel my presence in this city.
So. Right.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
Hi, so this is a testimonial for DJ the Money Coach. First of all, I got one of the best packages that you had, so that was A1. I love the team. They have really come through. You were amazing as a coach. Every week you showed up on time. Every single week. And trust me, I've been in a lot of courses, a lot of classes, spent a lot of money. And unfortunately, some people don't do what they say that they're going to do as a coach.
Hello, everybody. My name is Terry. I recently just linked up with DJ the Money Coach, and he's been very helpful. Gave me a lot of information, told me how I could turn my personal credit into business credit. Also showed me how I can pay for a personal vehicle through my business and corporation setup, and also set me up with Melvin to help me actually put together a will, a power of attorney, a Roth IRA.
I definitely would highly recommend DJ the Money Coach. He's very personable. He's actually real. He actually does meet with his clients. I'm happy for that. And he actually has a team that he works with that that are actually real. They do call people, so they will call you. So that's kind of why I want to rock with DJ the Money Coach.
So you cut your teeth as in the theater field. Then you got on the sales side. So when did that entrepreneurial bug take fire? So I'm pretty sure this business that you're running now and the export import is not your first endeavor down entrepreneurship. Would that be correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so take us from the box office to the entrepreneur steps that people don't understand, that you didn't become an overnight success. So talk to us a little bit about the failures that were just learning skills to become a master at to today. So these young ladies out there will know that, hey, this is something that you will actually need to do. And there's no such thing as failure, because you actually are mastering a skill that, God gave you a dream to become an expert at.
Well, being young in my 20s, it was a time, it was a weird time for me to be both responsible and irresponsible.
Okay.
right? Because you're trying to figure things out, but as a production stage manager, you're the first person to the theater. You're the one who opens the doors and turns on the lights, and in some cases, so you know, it was a stumbling block. Like, just admit to your faults as you're going through the process. My advice to young women and men: just own up to your faults, just your mistakes. If you were supposed to do it and you didn't do it, just apologize. Just, it's going to go so much further, and I wish that I had been able to apologize more.
Okay, that's interesting. Because I was about to ask, you know, who was the person that, you know, you did an apprenticeship with or mentored you through the process? I mean, I went to Columbia College, and they had a great theater program in Chicago as well. And I was a member of the National Association of Science and Television, because I actually got my piece of paper majored in broadcast journalism and television production with a minor in accounting. So I do have some background in that, as well as Nick does. And I mean, it was exciting time that just going through that process. But until I went to that school and had actual professionals teaching us in college the real world stuff, a lot of that stuff was just foreign to me. And it was like, man, this is an amazing opportunity, but at the same time, I don't see a future in it, because I needed to see how I was going to make money to take care of me. But it was the most enjoyable thing I ever done. Let me say that, because you're basically able to be different types of people when you are in the theater, which is amazing. But the starving part, I wasn't getting down with that, because it was not my first college I went to, it was my second one. So I already did that, getting down with the, you know, starving, and now it's time to make some bread. So was there somebody that played a seminal role in your life in that aspect to actually teach you how to navigate, you know, that terrain?
Yes, actually, my mom, Cherie. So am. My parents, my biological parents, actually died when I was about 7.
Oh wow!
So when I moved to Chicago, I lived with my grandparents, and then when I moved to Houston, I moved to Houston to live with my aunt. And so she was an engineer, so she was very good with money, able to help me understand how to pace things out, how to think ahead. You know, she was very instrumental in helping make sure I understand how to anticipate. You may not always respond correctly, right? But at least try to think ahead about what's going to happen.
Okay.
And so it was always her motivation to think ahead and to be thinking about what's going to happen. Because if you think about it in life, the Murphy's Law, if something can happen, something will happen, right?
Right.
So the way to navigate through life, she said, is to really just think about what are the possibilities and just be pre-planned for those. And so using that motivation, that's where I really learned about organization and project management, and like how to, you know, navigate schedules and calendars, and so be in the box office, how to sell, how to, you know, tell people about different plays, how to explain where the tickets are. Because at a certain time we have to, it was you mentioned about being old. So when Joseph and I started selling box office tickets, there was no internet at first.
Oh wow.
The internet wasn't heavily available.
Okay.
So one by one, as Joseph and I were working there, they started adding internet to the computers. And so we would have to describe to people before the internet, before they had a map to see on their end, we would have to describe to them like where their seats were. And we would have to like.
I can't even imagine that. Man, that's crazy. Because I go to the you know, Smart Financial Center and the Pavilion, and if I can't hop online and see exactly where my seat is, and you can't tell me about the show, I can't even, man, I'm a visual guy, so man, y'all had to be some bad mamma jammas. So
That's what.
Joseph told me y'all used to sell out like nobody's business.
Yes.
Because I remember going down and again, going back to my Chicago days, you would see people outside with a stack of, tickets selling them. I
Yes.
was like, dude, that's a tough job.
That is a tough job.
So how did you get good at that? Because Joseph was killing it and you were killing it. So that's a skill set that is, man, once you can do that, you can do anything.
Are BS, are we allowed to curse or
Oh yeah, you can, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we became good bullshitters. Right? Because really acting, if you think about it, is really just a person pretending to be somebody. They're pretending to be a character at a set of lines, and they're making this character come alive. It's not actually who they are.
Right.
So basically they're bullshitting.
Okay. So you mastered that skill. Your aunt gave you projection skills. So what was that first entrepreneur endeavor? What was it? How did it came out? What did you learn from it? What did you think that you failed at that actually is now an asset for you today? Because that's important, because today it's popular to be an entrepreneur. Back then in the day, entrepreneur was like, hey, it was a euphemism for you lazy, you can't get a job. Now everybody and their mama want to be an entrepreneur.
Or drug dealer. If you were an entrepreneur.
Right. Pharmaceutical sales. Correct. So tell us about your pharmaceutical sales days.
No. Does freelance count?
Hey, whatever you call it, entrepreneurism is entrepreneurism. If you make a little side hustle and you were selling some tickets on the side, getting a little scratch, that's hustling. May not be a business, but it's a business.
Okay. So at first I was working 5 jobs. When Joseph and I met, I was doing plays on some nights, and then I delivered Houston newspapers, and then I would go work at the box office, and then I worked somewhere else. Or I did like odd jobs decorating for events and production, like at PA, odd jobs. So I was always like a hustler, I always had that little bit of a gypsy kind of thing about like, I want to make the kind of money that I need to make and without regulations, without hold bars, or excuse me, I want to be able to come and go and then work as I need. And so, and I was going to school, I was in college, and still, so I had to, go around my classes and stuff. So I had to work what I could work around my classes.
Okay.
So I did that for a long time.
Man,
yeah.
That's amazing. 5 jobs and going to school. Were you doing any traveling at that time as well?
Just, traveling where I could.
Okay.
The outer extended Houston until I could graduate, and then I could go wherever.
Okay. So you got that. So then when was the official business that you started? Is this the first one, or did you have other official businesses that you created?
So the first one was actually Sinha, a communication consulting company.
Okay.
And that was very nice. Thoroughly enjoyed that right after I graduated. So right after you graduate, you have to get a job, right? Because there's a gap between that thing. So I started a communication consulting company and worked that for a while. We did a bunch of different incredible events when the Affordable Care Act was coming out. We had some awesome Houston events and got the the doctors and a lot of the medical community of Houston, got them educated, like really awesome stuff.
Oh, wow. So right out of college, you started a business versus going to work for somebody?
Well, I tried to, I filled out a few applications.
Right. But they just didn't, the freedom piece is probably, I can see.
I mean, because they always want experience, right? And it's a catch-22. Like, you have to be educated and experienced at the same time. And I was already working 5 jobs, so I at least was able to leverage some sort of employment to keep myself employed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So did you take to creatively taking your resume and curtailing it to the actual opportunity based on those multiple tasks and jobs that you were, creating that go into the communication side? So I take it the communication side was events, like you said, so it still had something tie into theater in that regard.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's okay. That's cool. So what type of monies and what type of experiences do you have, and how long did you do that for, Brooke?
What type of monies? Like, how did we get paid?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, if I'm watching this, I'm a young,
Excuse me.
teenage young lady, or I'm actually in college, and I want to have that entrepreneurial, bug, and I want to put a foundation underneath me. A lot of times, it's not cookie cutter. But then you get through that roadmap, and then we're going to start talking about what you're killing it at right now. But let people know that there's a process, and don't get discouraged doing that process, because that's actually the skills that God has intended for you to do your great work. And that, without those experiences, you couldn't be here knocking it out the park. And that's what I like to be able to, share with our audience. And that's why it's called the Financial Expert Series with DJ the Money Coach, because you developed an expert skill set, and now you are a person that's consulting to people at the highest level in the industry that you are in right now, because of all the stuff you did when you start working in theater, had those 5 jobs, was doing the stuff in high school. You probably didn't realize at that time, just like I didn't realize 20 years ago when I got into financial education, that I was going to be that expert in my lane, primarily because of my experiences and mastering things by doing it over and over and getting better at it, just like Groundhog Day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we should teach people that, but we don't teach them that in college. We don't teach them that in high school. And they're learning it now on YouTube, IG, and all that other stuff. And it really still ain't the complete story.
Yeah, it's really not. Yeah. So ask me one more time. I'm so sorry. I got lost in the end of
no problem. So at the end of the day, that business that you created, what's the type of revenue that you were able to, create for you individually, and how long did you do it? And then how did that make the transference over into what you're doing now?
Okay. So I ran Sinha for about 6 to 8 months, not very long. Made about $20,000. Now, remember, I solved a problem, right? So again, project management, problem solver, critical thinker. So when I couldn't get a job out of after graduating, I started a business. So I ran that business and was making money. So I then got hired to work. I networked my way to, I worked at contracts for the Houston Food Bank, doing their holiday volunteer coordinating.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. My children actually volunteered their time through their school at the Houston Food Bank, that green and blue symbol. Yeah, we got pictures. Went last year, the year before as well. So that's awesome.
That's awesome. How do you get to? Are your kids older enough to go a lot? Do you guys go there often?
Yeah, well, they would go with their school twice a year. Twice a year. So what they call that? What they call those field trips? They call it field trip. It'd be a whole day event, but they would do it first semester one time and then second semester.
That's
and then they
awesome.
then they check off their community service.
Okay. Yeah. So we got there as a product of Sinha, the communication consulting. We got contracted to run their Share Your Holiday campaign for everything that happened during their holiday season. So the Super Bowl of Caring, the construction art thing that they have, where they have artists and architects come in and use canned food to build structures.
Okay.
And so I've recruited volunteers for all these different events within their Share Your Holiday campaign.
Oh, wow. Man, that is awesome. That is awesome.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
I created STEAM, STEAM. It's science, technology, engineering,
access, and mentorship. And people might say, well, what happened to the math? Well, to me, it's self-explanatory. If you're going to be an engineer, you got to be good at math in some capacity. How does that translate when you go in these boardrooms with these Fortune 500 companies who just want to take money out of our community? How do you get them to, humanize our experiences and actually give us the value without us having to be validated through their lens? People don't understand when you start out in business, you got to pay your team first before you pay yourself. I'm gonna say it again. You got to pay your team first before you pay yourself because you're invested in a system. I'm excited about meeting you guys because I think you're stumbling on something that's going to actually dissolve that system and actually make you as the #1 player in the industry. Can you talk to that a little bit?
You know what I can say? I can say that I have chills, right now at 4:19 Central Time, Thursday, March 4th, 2021 in Austin, Texas, hearing you say that. And I actually want to refer back to this clip whenever it is that we, do achieve some milestone like $100 million of gross written premium.
The DJTMC Financial Experts Series is the #1 show featuring the hottest business professionals, working professionals, and entrepreneurs, from the seasoned vets to the rising stars. Email Nick at djthemoneycoach.com if you have what it takes to stand among the greats. Now back to the program.
So from there, what did you do next?
So from there, I got hired on to the Houston Food Bank.
Okay.
So yeah, it led
you
me
went from
into
doing your own thing, doing a service for them, and then you did so well, they hired.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, man, that's awesome. So would you say what percentage of your income went up, increased by you going to, because that's a non-for-profit, so they don't pay a lot.
No, don't do that. Don't think that. That's a misconception.
Oh, well, hey, school me then.
Yeah, that's actually a myth that they say that has been perpetrated through the nonprofit community.
Purposely.
Yes.
So what was your title there, and ballpark, what kind of income could you make as a professional?
Okay, so I started out still very low. At first, they wanted to offer me 32, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not okay." So I started out at 42, and as the retail donation manager, and so I coordinated trucks to go to over 200 different grocery stores throughout 18 counties, and they would pick up pallets of donations and bring them back to the food bank. And so I took over that program and a few other distribution programs that were worth about, when I got to them, they were barely worth 9 million. By the time I left, they were worth over 15 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were the base one that helped them go from 9 to 16?
Yes.
Man, I tell you, Nick, we be bringing on these superstars, man. And she's humble, ain't she? So we had to come up with another term, man, because can't use him. We got to use her. Humility expert, Renaissance woman, man. So you started at middle management, 42. They were bringing in about 9 million of donations, up to 16 million. Man, that is awesome. That's amazing. So after you check that off of your box, what was the next endeavor, and how close are we getting to where we are today? Because I would presume after you did that, you probably now became a 6-figure income earner.
Not yet. Actually, that is what led us to where we are today. So okay. I was doing pretty well at the Houston Food Bank, met somebody who was volunteering for her church's food pantry, and she had a friend with a vineyard in Argentina and they wanted to bring the wine into the States. So I said, yes, I'm looking for my next thing, right? So I started building a business around the opportunity to bring the wine into the States through research and development.
Did you know anything about wine and importing before that, or you just said, I'm going to take on this task?
I knew about wine and I knew about logistics and transportation. I did not know really about exporting, so I had to learn that part.
Okay. And you had no fear about jumping in that deep pool. Man, I love, see, that's the Chicagoan in there, if you don't know that, Nick. We're not gonna give that credit to H-Town. That's the Chicagoan in it. You know? That's right. If you, whoever's watching, you like it, nope, that's that Chicago in there, because that's the way we built. That's right. So don't tell them, Brooke. Don't tell them now. Yeah, because that's what we do. We figure out 60% and we go take care of the other 40%. We don't get gunshot.
Right. I got 2 out of 3. I'm good.
There you go. All right, so did you take a trip to Argentina, or did you do everything here from a logistics standpoint to go kick the tires on the new project?
Did not actually end up going to Argentina. So that actual deal ended up not going. It was a family-owned vineyard. They had some issues. It's okay. But I did end up going to Miami. I met with a bunch of importers, retailers, and things of that nature for a Caribbean project. They brought buyers in, and then I hustled up my money, and then I went to Guatemala, Panama, Trinidad, St. Lucia, and the Bahamas, and just started making connections. And I just hustled.
Still following the wine deal, just import exports alone.
So at that time because we had flipped our business model. So when the opportunity to bring the wine came in, research and development, we found out that really the outcry for American products is huge.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So people outside of America really want American products.
So aren't those products taxed and tariffed to death when you send them from us to them?
I mean, they have some taxes, yes. There's a lot of free trade agreements, so we have a lot less tariffs than we used to. And luckily, the political, politically, when Trump was in office, everything, aluminum went up, tariffs went up, taxes went up. Everything went up a little bit. I don't really understand how all those people can say like, oh, it got so much better for business, because it didn't. But anyway.
Okay. So you took your little, tour to these multiple, countries, and then that began the company that you're running now?
Yeah.
All right. So talk to us and tell us what that company is about. Tell us the name of the company again. Tell us what you guys do and why you're an expert, why we sought you.
Okay. So again, Brooke Sinclair, CEO and founder of Velourit, the automated supply chain platform. We are digitally connecting the Latin America to North America, and we're going to make it easier for people to buy and track goods that they've purchased from another country.
So is there a significance to the name Velourit?
Don't just import it. Velourit.
Okay. All right. Like it. Okay. Yeah. And specifically Latin countries. So does that mean you're bilingual?
Yes, poorly. Yes.
Okay. So what is it? What do they say? Poquito?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to get that one knocked down, because lately, man, it's like people think I'm Latin. So I gotta start knocking that one down, especially since the sponsor Tolero is a man.
I really thought you was about to bust out some major Latin. I was like, okay, he about to show me up.
No habla español, señorita.
Oh,
but
okay.
I can say, por favor, Tolero, please.
Well, you got that.
Yo quiero. I'm sorry. Yo quiero Tolero, por favor, señorita.
Okay.
So yes, if my Latin friends are watching and I hacked that up, I apologize.
For sure. I was like, oh, here he go.
So tell us about Velourit and how you became that expert in the export business to the import, and how do you leverage companies and help them get that accomplished?
Okay, so all that research and development was really about understanding the logistics and the landscapes, the markets. all the traveling in Panama and Guatemala. In Guatemala, it was particularly beautiful.
Is that considered Central America?
Guatemala? Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Hey, that's a geographic, lesson for you people. That yes, DJ the Money Coach does know his geography. Thank you very much. And I learned that. And here's the funny thing: I didn't learn that in high school or college. I learned that in elementary school. Check.
Okay.
Go ahead. Right there.
Okay. Well, there's a place called Antigua, Guatemala. We had. I'm sorry. I'm like.
And that's upscale, right? Antigua. Because when I think of Guatemala, I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, I think about abject poverty.
There is that. Just like any other country, there is poverty, right? You have your poor side, and then you have your not poor side.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely saw those. Yes, Antigua, Guatemala is a very nice place. It's actually the home of I was not too far away from a volcano, an active volcano.
Wow.
And but beautiful cobblestone streets, and they had craft beer, and so we were there to sell more craft beer, to get to learn the land, learn who the buyers are, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So that's right. That's the first thing I noticed, that you had all these craft beers on your website. So who was the first one that you brought over there to export, and how did that relationship come about?
Well, we met all of our suppliers pretty much online, some sort of way. And then the buyers, either when I took the trip to Miami to meet with the people who were coming from the Caribbean there, that's where I first got connected with the Hilton Trinidad, and we were able to make that well, actually, we started that conversation. We weren't able to make that happen, but because they had some changeover at the time, but that's what really got us rolling in that community. And so we've had opportunities with the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar, the Four Seasons in St. Kitts, and I think that's to name a few. Yeah.
Well,
and then
if she had to name a few, the Four Seasons, St. Kitts. So if you don't know, if you ain't got the pom-pom lifestyle, you probably can't afford to go to those places. You see how she just remember, the Four Seasons, St. Kitts. Like, this is something you could just, spend 2,000, we spend in a grip. So what product per se that they like from America? Which handcrafted beer that they like that we may not know about? I mean, I'm a big wheat beer connoisseur, and I like the but if it's like, Miller Lite, Budweiser, so what are they ordering at the Four Seasons in St. Kitts that you put them deals together for them?
Yeah, so the St. Kitts, they were interested in a stout, so we brought to them flying. Oh darn it, I did not study my sorry. Oh darn it. I think they ended up buying Church Street, I believe. We brought them quite a few options. It's a long process. You have to send samples and then get feedback and things of that nature. So it took a while to close that.
So what's a while? 3 months, 6 months, and what kind of volume are we talking about?
6 months.
Okay,
2 pallets.
What kind of volume?
2 pallets.
Okay, so what's a pallet? I mean, I don't know that business.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry, no. Like, oh, you're just not in my head. So when you think about, so everything you ever see on the store on the shelf came in a box.
Okay.
Right, like some sort of packaging, and then those boxes came in a case.
Okay.
Right, and then the cases are stacked on wooden pallets.
Okay. So it is like what, 3-4 feet high?
About 5.
Okay.
4 or 5, depending on what the product is. So sometimes about 4 to 5 feet, really. Yeah.
Are those 6-figure deals, 7-figure deals? Are they reoccurring POs? How does that work?
Some are reoccurring, so they are not six-figure deals, unfortunately. So we've been able to process we've had $100,000 purchase orders, unfortunately, that we weren't able to process. We've actually processed about $50,000 that I was able to personally finance.
Okay.
And so that's really when I met you, and I was like, oh yeah, well, investors, because we've been able to at least leverage a lot of our knowledge and at least our network in the government. And we've been accepted to this project with the USAID in
Okay.
Peru. So it's a $2 million project,
Oh,
and
wow.
USAID is going to put in $1 million.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when you procure those pallets, do you have to pay for them, or do they pay for them? Is it consignment? If it's FBO, how does that go?
So we pay for them. We prefer the traditional wholesale model
Mhm.
is that someone like us, a mediary, right? Because we're not a
Mhm.
manufacturer.
Right.
So we're the mediary. So we buy from the manufacturer. So
Okay.
yes, we do have to buy those pallets, and we have separate like net terms per supplier per state.
Okay. Oh man, that is awesome.
We'll be right back with the DJTMC Financial Expert Series after this message. Stay tuned.
Since meeting you, I have had the pleasure of meeting other people among your team who have given me the knowledge to be able to take my business to the next level. So I'm definitely looking forward to a better year from here on out. So thank you very much for placing those people in my path.
Hello, my name is George Paisley, and I just finished my first initial consultation with DJ the Money Coach. And I have to say, it was very enlightening. I enjoyed it. He hit me to some game. In the first 2 minutes, he told me about a way I could save taxes on next year. So even if I didn't work with him, I left away with that knowledge. To anyone else out there thinking about it, at the very least, take the time, have a talk with him, and let him show you how he can help you live that pom-pom lifestyle.
Stop wishing better, start doing better, and move forward with somebody that has not only the knowledge, the skills, the talent, and the team to help you go where you want to go. I'll get more than my money's worth. If I can spend a few grand, several grand on a piece of luggage, I could spend a little bit to get a lot of it in the long run. So if you're thinking about doing better, stop thinking, start doing, and definitely get down with the pom-pom lifestyle.
Okay, so you have all these craft beers that you have on your website. And did you choose those beers, or that what like the Four Seasons told you this is what they're looking for? Or did you recommend to them, hey, I think this would be a good fit for your menu, your prestige, stature, et cetera, et cetera? So how does that work, Brooke? How do you marry the two entities?
That's a good question. In order to find the right price fit, since we were starting from scratch, from not knowing really anything our customer, we had to at least start with a base. So at least we had 4 to 5 options to at least present, right, to a potential buyer. But then because we're so digitally connected, because of what I understand about logistics from a remote base, right, experience, I don't have to be there. And
yeah, that's awesome.
Right. So I'm able to transfer that knowledge to that team, and then we can all procure more things. So we're able to buy from people from around the nation. So we have manufacturers in our portfolio from California, Washington, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, and just Florida, everywhere, really.
And then where are the countries that you send it to? Because I know you talked about, if I'm not mistaken, you have a good South African connection or something like that, and some other ones. Can you talk to us about those? Because I think that's a industry that what you created that could be attractive to somebody else to want to pursue that, you know, career, and they can look to you as an example, and even maybe even for an apprenticeship, internship, etc. So can we talk about how that makes you a global citizen? Because your passport, nowadays people don't realize that we're global citizens, but we didn't realize it. Now it's even more important that you can, you know, navigate and, you know, be a trekker, and that gives that more roundedness and that, you know, relationships which are important. I mean, so talk to us about that, because I mean, I think you facilitating some stuff for Tolero, for the owners of Tolero as we speak, and that's amazing. And for you to be able to do it just from, you know, your home, and you can do the travel if you don't want to, or if you want to, that's a great option. I love it. So talk to us about that, the countries that you're putting them in outside of the Latin you know, sphere, and how that works. There's something that I can aspire to do if I'm excited about what I hear, because I'm excited about it.
Yeah, yes, we are talking, thank you. We are talking to the manufacturers of Toledo, bringing them in. And so we are actually going through a growth period. So we have some products. So let me get straight to the point. So we have some products in Bermuda, Bahamas, and then some that's on the way to Antigua. We're working on something for Antigua. So, but the Peru opportunity, so coming out of COVID, right, is the thing. A lot of people were having some issues. So a lot of our buyers or would-be buyers, a lot of customers that we're talking to in the Caribbean, they need net terms, like extreme net terms, 90 and 120-day net terms.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's kind of long.
Well, their hotels have been empty for like.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. So, I mean, understandable. So we have an export credit insurance thing. So we're able to finance it, but then again, we're coming out of COVID. So we're back to the bootstrapping part, and looking.
And does that increase? Because I was just talking to my friend today. He said he just got back from the Bahamas, down in Nassau, and him being American, he said, man, he told me he had eggs, toast, coffee, and water, and it was like $89.
Cool.
And there were all these different taxes on it because he was an American. So with that said, is that a profit increase center for you, or is that an expense increase center for you as an exporter now to these foreign countries, especially in the hospitality business?
That's an expense.
Wow.
Yeah. So in some cases, the demand is there, but it depends upon that nation's currency. Sometimes the people have to buy U.S. currency.
Forex, Nick. She's talking about Forex now.
Oopsie.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're experts in Forex too.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yes, we are. We have $1 million fund called DJ the Money Coach Forex Fund. It's not an MLM, and it's not a, get it on the app for fractionals. We actually own the company. And I wasn't throwing this in, but you just happened to talk about it, so we let you know. Thanks a lot, Brooke.
Thank you.
We like that layup you gave us.
Game recognized game.
That's right.
Ooh, excuse me.
Oh, take your time. I love it, man. I love it. I love bringing on these experts. Because here's the funny thing, Brooke. We learn more from talking to experts about you in terms of just having an all-rounded, life. And that's what a lot of people need to have, the ability, especially I want to be able to help our people that come from the urban communities that they may not have gotten, a mile outside their home. And then when they see somebody sharp, young, like you, that looks like them, and you're doing global things, they now can get encouraged that the world is unlimited for their options in a technological world with information at their fingertips. That's what I'm really excited about this interview, and that you didn't let any limitations be put on you, and you just went out and did it. And now these doors are opening up because you had excitement, you had an idea what you wanted to do, and you had the right mindset in terms of how to facilitate relationships. And it's so funny. Tomorrow we're going to talk about on our Bet on Black with networking, relationships with integrity. And this is the the amazing example of it, if I can't say it all. Because again,
thank you.
Joseph and I have been knowing each other for about 6.5 years. You've been knowing each other for about 20. And now we're doing things together that's taking us around the globe based off of a solid relationship and a dream. That's amazing. So guys and girls, you got to subscribe, share, and like this information, because we're going to bring you a ton of more of these people. So Brooke, I know you're very busy. So let's tell them what's the potential, what you're excited about, how we can get your stuff, and if they have businesses that need to be exported in products and services, how they can get in touch with you as well.
Yes, you can find Velourit on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, or just visit us at velourit.com. That's VELOUR, like the fabric. You don't just import it, Velourit. So you can find us at velourit.com. And really, if you're thinking about taking a vacation anytime soon, go ahead and contact the resort. Ask them about their food and beverage program. Ask them about, do they have any Black-owned brands in their food and beverage program? Because that's really what's helping us right now post-COVID.
Okay.
Is at least we're able to offer something that's a tourist attraction. Right?
Wow,
So
I like that.
we're offering them.
We're actually planning our vacation trips right now as we speak. So,
oh yeah?
Yeah. So tell me what I need to do again. Real talk. Yeah. So we contact the resort and we ask them, do they have Black-owned
brands? Just in their food and beverage? Like,
okay.
Do you have any Black-owned, like, just, you mentioned Tolero.
Right.
So there's no reason, if you're going to stay there, there's no reason why you can't just ask them, hey, your food and beverages, do you have any Black-owned brands?
Wow, man, you know what? I need to have a V8 thrown upside my head, because you think I would have been doing that from the jump.
No, but that's not your world. That's not
But
your
I'm all about that black dollar being rotated in the community, locally and globally. Local first, global second. So, man, that's for Nick. Make sure we get that done, bro.
Yeah.
And then make sure we get it through Velourit.
See? And then that's where we come in.
Okay. All right, man. I love it. So if I'm that young girl or guy, I'm a junior, senior, high school, I'm a freshman in college, and I all of a sudden have the bug to do what you do, what would be the blueprint or the outline they should start pursuing? Because I know I have friends who were in the hospitality business working for hotels, and I know how they got internships, but this is a little bit different, but it's still the hospitality business. So how would you navigate? Because you went a whole different route, but is there a structure that they can pursue in this endeavor and career-wise?
Well, you mentioned the hotel, restaurant, and hotel restaurant management industry. So that is a way. So I would say, depending upon, if you want to try to find your way to where I am, you want to do something globally, and you're just not really sure what it is you want to do globally, you want to start out by finding what's your foundation. Do you want to do hotels globally, right? Because hotels is a great way to go global in business. You have a lot of different options. Do you want to be in entertainment? And so that means that you can be both audio and visual. You don't have to necessarily be the entertainment to be in entertainment, right?
Right.
So that's a viable job lane, where you can work different hours. So sometimes you can be home with your kids in some cases, right? And still make money. And then, or you can do the English lit / communications route.
Okay.
Right. So that English lit communications internationally, that turns into policies, regulations, You can do legal things. You can be tourist boards, right? So you could literally go, I think the Bahamas right now has a 18-month visa that you can get, and because they want you to do remote work there. But
Wow.
once you live there, right, you can apply for residency and you can stay there. And you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be global, those are your 3 foundations.
Okay.
So if you want to write, do you want to write travel publications, travel blogs? There's a lot of, I see on Instagram, a lot of people who are digital nomads.
No,
I don't know if they're really digital nomads. But, I mean, it's a good picture.
Nick, sounds like Brooke just exposed some of these people.
It looks real to me. Sure.
Right.
But that's a thing.
Right. Absolutely. So as far as the export import business is concerned, where do you see your company in the next 5 years? And what are the strategic partnerships that you are excited about for the end of 2021 and for 2022? And again, give us your contact information, how we get in contact with you. And again, man, we excited about you coming on the show. We're going to bring you back again, follow up and follow through on the projects that you are, working on currently. This is amazing. Export. I never met anybody that was in the export import business. I always meet people that are in the import business, but not the export import business.
The export. Yeah. Thank you.
That is awesome.
Thank you. I mean, it's a rare industry. I find that we've, us as in, African Americans, we tend to be more in customer service when it comes to import export. There's not a lot of us owners or executives. So that at least is on the rise. So I like that.
Man, I love it. Again, emphasis on owners. One thing we teach our members is equity and ownership. Equity and ownership. Because if we're going to blow it up, which our culture does, and then the other people get the equity and ownership, I'll just take it back to Cadillac Records. Go watch this movie. It's one scene where the guy playing Chuck Berry, who's most deaf, and then you got the Jewish guy, and the radio disc jockey said, "Hey, I'm gonna make you famous, and I'm gonna make you rich." So he's pointing at Chuck Berry, talking about make you famous, and he's pointing at Jewish boy, I'm make rich. Chuck Berry said, he gets up, switched up, no, you're gonna make him famous, you're gonna make me rich. And that's equity and ownership, and that's really what Brooke Sinclair just said of Valorit.com, is that she's in the equity and ownership suite, not on the conservative workers side. That's phenomenal, man. So what we normally do at our show when we wrap it up, Nick gives us his interpretation of what he gleaned over this amazing interview on the Financial Expert Series with DJ the Money Coach and our amazing, powerful woman entrepreneur, Brooke Sinclair. What you got for us, Nick?
Man, I mean, of course, starting with the last thing we just talked about, the importance of ownership and equity. And then I heard that theme of relationships come up again. And I think about the formula of success, which is the people you meet plus what you create together equals that success. And then early in your story, Brooke, I hear that you put in the work. So that's another major theme that came up. You really put in the work, and you filled in the gaps of what you didn't know with what you already knew and what you already had, and then you took those calculated risks to fill in those gaps. So that's what I took away from this amazing conversation with the Chicago native.
That's right. Chi-town in the house. I went from East. In the 30 seconds, give us your parting shots on, again, what you're excited about, how we can reach you. And again, we want to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule and explaining to us why you are a financial expert in the export-import business with Velourit. I love it. Don't just buy it, Velourit. Oh man, I love that.
Well, I'm super excited to be working with Tolero. First of all, being here, have an opportunity to get to know you and Nick, and this is awesome. So I'm excited to see what 2021 is going to do. We're going to head to Peru and start working there, working with the government, and helping the Peruvians build some incredible infrastructure foundation. So find Velourit at Velourit.com. That's VELOUR, like the fabric, IT.com. You can find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and that's it, at Velourit.com. I forgot. I was like,
Oh man, it's awesome. So hey, again, on behalf of my awesome moderator, Nick Westbrooks, and on behalf of our amazing entrepreneur, executive owner of Velourit, Brooke Sinclair, we end our shows like we always. You've been watching the Financial Expert Series with DJ the Money Coach, and we want you to have a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind, and we want you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club and make sure you Velourit and ask for those Black, owned beverages and food at your next resort for your pom-pom lifestyle stay. I'm DJ the Money Coach. We'll see you next time. Thank you again. God bless.
Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and put you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase.